Today is December 1st, 2009, and I'm Gina Baroni here with Student Body President David Ober, who is graduating very soon. And we're here to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
No problem.
All right. So, David, how did you end up getting involved in the SGA, being that you're a technology major?
Well, I've been involved on campus various ways. I had worked in housing as a resident assistant, and Dr. Dalgarn, who is the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, was looking for some people to kind of help restructure the organization. And somehow my name made it on the invitee list for the luncheon. And I just kind of took a leadership role after that and was chosen to be kind of an interim president of the organization and oversee the different pieces of the restructure. And after that, it's just kind of became a part of my college career. So.
And what do you feel you specifically brought to the table for SGA?
Well, I feel like I've got a very creative mindset, and I'm able to come up with really unique solutions to various problems. Problem solving is probably the biggest thing that I bring to the table as the student body president. It's just real easy for me to see a problem, kind of assess all the angles, and then come up with a solution that fits it.
Great. Well, going along with that, I'm sure in politics you deal a lot with people that don't share the same values or opinions, so how would you go about dealing with that?
Well, you're always going to have someone who's got their own agenda, or they've got their own kind of issues for a problem. I mean, a problem has many different perspectives. It was really difficult for me to deal with certain leaders on campus because they represented an entirely different constituency, and they've got their own agenda, like I said. So you just got to kind of tone down the ego and come at it a different way.
Sure. Well, what was the most fun aspect of your job?
Really, all the stuff that I got to be involved in, just because of the position. I got to be a part of the 6th British debate. I've been invited to help out with a pancake study break as a celebrity server, and I've been able to take part in a lot of other things, do some traveling, and that was a lot of fun to do as well.
That's great. So what are the issues that you cared about most while you were in office, and how did you address them?
Sure. Well, as a technology student, the issue of the student email was kind of a big issue for me. And NetMail is what we've used since I started at Purdue Calumet 4 years ago, and it's really kind of an archaic system. It doesn't do a lot of the things that other email systems do. Students don't use it as a communication platform or a tool, and so I felt like that really needed to change. The other thing, and something that an issue that I was most vocal about would of course be fall break. It's something that's been around for many, many years. I mean, West Lafayette and other schools have done it for over a decade, and it's just kind of a slow starting thing at Purdue Calumet. And so I really hit hard on those two issues as well.
Sure. Well, how do you feel about your support staff?
Well, we have a really great group with this student government. There are a lot of folks that have a very good idea of what the needs are for their schools. And they're able to bring something unique to the table, and it's not just people getting together for no purpose or no reason. They've got goals, they've got ideas, and they want to help their fellow students, and they want to give students a voice, which is ultimately what our goal is.
That's great. So how did dealing with the faculty that hadn't had to deal with an SGA for an extended period of time help or hinder your progress?
Well, with with the fall break initiative, of course, we had to deal with the faculty senate. This idea of a student government, we've kind of been a here some semesters, gone the next. It's not been a real consistent force on campus. That's something that we wanted to change, and I think that we've met that goal. It's been very difficult to deal with some of the members of the faculty senate. Of course, they've got their own agendas, they've got their own ideas for how things should work. Very conservative body on campus. And when you're trying to push big changes, of course, that can become a roadblock. But I feel like we've met that challenge. I was not afraid to call people out for holding up certain processes or installing the initiative. That was not going to be acceptable for the student government, and we're going to keep pushing it. And I think that it'll be a big issue, and one that is pushed well after I'm gone, and they'll just keep going at it until it's done.
That's great. Is there anything that you feel like you could have done better?
Well, I think some mistakes were made specifically with the fall break and proposal and the way that it was lobbied on the faculty senate, and I take responsibility for that. It's really hard being a leader and being in the public eye and having to deal with someone who has the ultimate decision on something that you really care about and an issue that you feel is important. Maybe in the future it'd be best to approach it from a different angle and not be so rough and tumble, so to speak. But that's probably my biggest regret. Something that I feel like we could have done a little different is the way that we approached that key issue.
Sure. So moving on to the swine flu and all of the attention that it got, especially this semester, do you think that it was worth all of that attention?
Well, I definitely think that it was something that needed to be looked at. Whenever you've got a large group of people, especially since the majority of the students here at Purdue Calumet fit within that risk age, that high risk range of people, it's definitely something not to take lightly. But I think that me personally, there was a lot of hype to it, and I think that the media kind of blew that out of proportion. From what I understand, it's just a different strain of flu, maybe a little more contagious, but nothing that someone with a strong immune system could handle.
Sure. So I know you were the interim president. However, you ran to be the official student body president, and you're graduating now. So what prompted you to do that, since you're only going to be here for this semester?
Well, it was really kind of not because of any key issue that I felt needed to be pushed. It wasn't because of student email. It was not because of fall break. While those were big tenets to our campaign, Jesse Martin and I, it was really just providing leadership to maintain a consistent student government, one that will last year after year, one that has a lot of power on campus and is able to effectively advocate for students. So I feel like we've gotten a pretty good grasp on that, and that this student government is one that students 5-10 years down the line will recognize and will see as a driving force on campus for students.